tell you what they don't want you to know. The truth is the truth, and the facts are the facts. You can do anything you want as long as you're willing to pay the consequences for it. It's the government. What do you expect? Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very special Bilbrey Live. This is going to be the broadcast from the Kendall and Casey radio program on 93.1 WIBC. I recorded with them. I was in studio on air with them on Monday, July 24th, 2023, and our segment aired at 11:45 a.m. This is the brief segment that I was on with Kendall and Casey, speaking about the First Amendment and the digital town square, and we're having a conversation about how we as citizens and as freedom and liberty loving individuals need to help get our elected and appointed government officials on board with our freedoms. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here is the interview between myself and Rob Kendall and Casey Daniels on their radio program, Kendall and Casey, on WIBC 93.1.
There's diamonds in the sidewalk, the gutters line its song. Here I hear the beer flows to the faucets all night long. The sheriff for the day and free.
The sheriff of Henry County is getting sued for social media behavior, and oh gosh darn it, I'm here for all of it.
He's censoring people, Rob.
Boy, don't we know all about that, Casey? 93 WIBC, it is the Kendall and Casey show. We welcome in investigative journalist Kristopher Bilbrey. He is suing the sheriff of Henry County, John Sproles, teaming up with the ACLU over censoring constituents on social media. Chris, give us the Reader's Digest version. This is fascinating. Why are you suing the sheriff of Henry County?
Essentially, it's a new sheriff. He is 7 months into his first term. He's a brand new police officer, only 4 years on the department to begin with. He has a government page, and he has started blocking people on his government page that disagree with him, and I'm one of those people, and I feel like that's a First Amendment rights violation.
So this is sort of the new frontier, right, Casey? And I mean, we've talked about this, where you have the right to free speech, and if you're going to open up, like, you don't have to have a social media page if you're a politician, but if you're going to have a social media page and you're going to allow people to comment, you can't just say, just like in a town council meeting, remember when the police got weaponized against me, Casey?
Yes.
You can't just say, well, I only want to hear from the people who I like, or I only want to hear from the people who praise me. And this is the crux of this, right, Chris? Like, you've told this guy, hey, you're not doing your job. And he tried to say, well, we're not going to have that here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I belong to a political podcast called The Bastards of Politics, and we are all things government, local, state, national. And we've had some issues with what this gentleman's doing, some things that he has said down in Henry County, and we've just tried to fight back against him. And like so many elected officials throughout the state of Indiana, I'm seeing they're starting to do this. We've had issues with other elected officials, and the ACLU stepped in and fought this case, and we figured that this would be a good time to strike back against this elected official as well.
Now, I don't like to hear negative stuff about myself online either, but I just mute or block, which I actually did this past weekend to someone very lovely. But the difference is that I'm not an elected official.
Right. That's the thing. And I want to be very clear. It's not like we're calling this guy names. It's not like we're being threatening. It's not like we're being vulgar or over the top. We are telling him that we don't like his directives. We don't like what he's doing as an elected official.
Which is totally your right and totally what you should be doing.
Absolutely.
And you did this on the Henry County page, the sheriff's page. Whose page is this?
So the page is called John Sproles, Henry County Sheriff John M. Sproles. It's his official sheriff's government page where he posts pictures of him working. He posts directives, press releases, and it's him working throughout the day and his thoughts on law enforcement and other political issues within his county.
Okay, so this is the actual business of Henry County. This isn't his own personal locale Mexican casserole picture, right?
Right.
It's not him and the kids out on a seesaw at the park.
There are 3 pages that he's tied to. He is tied to the Henry County Sheriff's Department page, which is used to post like road closures and things like that, things about the jail and their staff.
Mhm.
Then he has a personal page, which he also discusses politics on, but I'm not asking to be on the personal page. The page that he has that I am blocked from, and so many other citizens of his are blocked from, is a governmental page where he is talking about politics, government, and his thoughts as an elected official.
Kristopher Bilbrey is our guest. He is an investigative journalist. He is suing the sheriff of Henry County, John Sproles is his name, over censoring constituents on social media. And Chris, I think we should all be cheerleading for you, because we, as you said, we're seeing this more and more often, where these local elected officials have zero respect for their constituents. They have zero respect for the people who pay their salaries. They are complete, total egomaniacs, and they don't believe they're accountable to anyone.
Absolutely. A good friend of ours, a mutual friend, Representative J.D. Prescott, had done this back in 2020 to one of my co-hosts, Brandon Rudd, and he actually did the same process. And J.D. back then said, instead of unblocking people, I'll just get rid of my page altogether.
Which is fine. Nobody is requiring you to have a social media page. You're not obligated to, but you can't. It's just like in a public meeting. You don't have to take comments. But if you're going to take comments,
let them all in.
Yeah, you can't weaponize the cops on some guy for asking about, hey, how does an item get on the agenda? And I think this is, now that I've been personally victimized, Casey, I think I cheer more than, not that I wouldn't be cheering for you before, but I cheer more than ever, because I've seen it firsthand. These people, in many cases, are complete sociopath narcissists who don't believe they're accountable to anybody.
Absolutely.
Now, Kristopher, you look like you were a little frustrated when Rob said, oh, he doesn't have to have a page.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't have to have that page. But when we're talking about transparency, so many of these people are running on the buzzword transparency, communication. For example, JD says, I'm open to anybody. I'll give you my phone number.
Mhm.
I've not got him to answer the phone to me in 2 years. He won't answer emails. The sheriff is doing the same thing. And what we're seeing is we live in a state where if you have that the almighty R next to your name, you know you're going to win 99% of the time. So you don't have to talk at campaign events. You don't have to do candidate meet and greets. So many of these people are not campaigning anymore. And the thing is, I always say, how a candidate campaigns is how they will govern. And the issue is they've stopped talking to us as candidates. So they're not going to talk to us as elected officials any more than they would have when they were asking for our vote. Okay,
I want to read. This is who this Sproles guy is. Now, John M. Sproles, he's the Henry County Sheriff. Chris, you sent this to me. This is an interaction that he had with a constituent, correct?
Yes, sir.
And we won't name her name, but you're telling me this is a real person, right?
I just verified last night. She is a living, breathing person who has lived in Henry County. This is not a fake
troll?
screen name. Nope.
Yep.
This is her honest to God name.
Okay, so this is whoever, maybe it's not him running the account, but whoever's running this guy's account, because the reply is John M. Sproles, Henry County Sheriff. Okay, are we ready? Okay, here we go. Thank you for being a, quote, top fan of mine who uses a fake account. I have no idea how I'm going to survive all of this pressure from all 10 of you keyboard warriors who hate me so much, especially now this lawsuit that K9 Chris has filed. This is so much more scary than running to the call of gunfire or responding to bar fights with 20 plus people involved, or to head-on collisions with entrapment and vehicles on fire. How will I ever survive these vicious verbal attacks and frivolous lawsuits? He then makes some emoji faces. Anyway, grab another box of Twinkies and some generic cola out of your mom's fridge and get back to your keyboard. Your audience of 4 is waiting, and I need to get back to taking care of the nearly 50,000 citizens of Henry County that elected me as their sheriff. This is his, like he or someone representing him is responding to an actual constituent in that manner. That's unbelievable.
I will give it to him. He does have a sense of humor about it. I mean, there is some good writing there in his response.
Okay, but here's the thing with me. It's the same thing like with Todd Rokita being the attorney general.
Mhm.
You're a law enforcement officer, right?
Mhm.
If Chris calls 911 and needs the sheriff to come help him as a law-abiding taxpayer, do you think he's going to get a fair shake given the fact that that guy's like insulting his weight, claiming, where he lives? I mean, that's pathetic.
Yeah. I'm wondering, Chris, where is the suit at this point?
It's just been filed last week, and it's the ACLU has put the press release out, and it's just been served within the last week. So we're really early.
Real quick before I let you go, because I think this is the most important thing. We got to stop this sort of stuff. We got to stop people at the school board meetings being labeled terrorists. We got to stop the cops getting weaponized on people at the local council meetings. We got to stop people getting blocked on social media for asking questions or making comments about their local elected officials. Why is this happening with such prevalence now? It seems like the past 5 years, it's just taken on a new level of prevalence. And two, what should people be doing?
I believe it comes back to the candidates and the officials realizing that they are still going to be elected to office, whether they communicate or not. So that's the first problem. And the way that we deal with this is to push back on it every time. The problem I have is if I tell somebody, oh, I'm suing this man because I've been kicked off Facebook, they say, how high schoolish. But if we were in a meeting or on the town square and this man stopped us from speaking, arrested us, blocked us, walked away from us, if they shut us down from speaking, it would be an issue. This is the same thing. Facebook, social media has become the digital town square, and we must not let this stand.
And you got the sheriff make it. I mean, that post on social media is just absolutely unbelievable. I mean, look, there were people who said so many horrific, awful things about me when I was elected, but that's what you sign up for, right? That you can't threaten people. There are limits, but some guy just saying you suck at your job. And now you're the chief law enforcement officer and you're making insulting comments like that to tax-paying, law-abiding constituents. That's gross.
Well, the biggest problem I have is he says that he needs to get back to the 50,000 people that elected him. In 2022, Henry County had a population of under 49,000. 9,582 people voted for Sheriff Sproles out of the 49,000. So that means there are roughly 39,000 citizens in Henry County that did not vote for this man. The mandate is less people care.
Yeah.
And the other very important thing is my channel has double the subscribers as Sproles has voters in Henry County. I'd like to just throw that out there.
Well, we're cheering for you. It's not normal. We cheer for the ACLU, but in this case, we're cheering for the ACLU. Chris Bilbrey, thank you, my friend. We appreciate you. And real quick, 20 seconds, where can people find you?
The Bastards of Politics on YouTube Thursday nights and 5 nights a week. Bilbrey Live on YouTube, The Bastards of Politics.
All right, keep us posted, Chris. Thank you, my friend.
Man who comes with receipts. All right, and that's going to do it for us today. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for listening. And we'll catch you back here tomorrow. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. There was my performance, my interview with Rob Kendall and Casey Daniels on their radio show, Kendall and Casey, in Indianapolis, Indiana, on Monday, July 24th, 2023. Their program is the Kendall and Casey Show, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Check them out. You can find them on YouTube and on terrestrial radio. And that's it. We're going to let it go from there and keep you guys posted on where we go with this ACLU lawsuit. And hopefully we can make a difference here and open up the eyes of these so-called public officials. Until next time, you guys take care. God bless. I will talk to you all again real soon. Goodbye.